Hey, welcome to I Like It Wide Open. It's a beautiful day. I've got Hemingway, who I love, and I'm not gay. Oh, okay. It's a beautiful day. I've got Hemingway, but I'm not gay. I love Hemingway, but I'm not gay. Great, fantastic. Okay. So, I wanted to do this, and I'm at Lake Isabella in Cincinnati, and I wanted to do this video to basically talk about the Leica Q. No, this is not a review. This is not going to talk about all the technicalities involved in this camera, because there are loads of websites that talk about it. But I wanted to talk about why I love this guy, why I love this camera. There was an immediate connect. I shot with it just a couple of days, and there are hardly about maybe two cameras before this with whom I've had such a connect, and I just wanted to talk about that. So for that, we'll have to go back and just understand and start with the Leica philosophy, right? So Oscar Barnack, when he just before he created the first Leica, or in fact the first 35 camera, you know, uh, he was an avid photographer, but he was an asthma patient, and he wanted something light, something small, which he could carry around rather than those large format, big ass cameras. You carry, put it on a tripod, you have like one exposure, and then do whatever. So that was fairly cumbersome. The whole process of photography was fairly cumbersome before the 35 was created, and so once it was created, I think the primary purpose was to carry it around, discreet. Before that, if you were a photographer, everybody would know, oh, here's this guy with this big thing, with a tripod, and he's trying to make pictures. But with this, you were discreet. You could slip anywhere. You could merge. You could just get into crowds. You could be part of the situation, and largely, it catered to reportage, right? So World War II was shot on a lot of Leicas. Robert Capa, one of the most famous war photographers of World War II, and of course, all the other greats like Cartier-Bresson, and so on and so forth. So the whole idea of the Leica, when it got created, was to be part of the subject or the environment, and slip in and then create pictures, be intimate with your subjects, and as is, report as is. So so even today, if you see, Leica doesn't have an 85 lens. They have a 90, 135, but that's very few and far in between get sold. The most sold focal lengths are 28, 35, and 50, because that's what allows you to become part of the environment, get intimate shots. So this has a 28 and that's where it stems from. That you want to, this really takes you back to the roots. This forces you pretty much to be part of the environment. You cannot stand here and shoot somebody like 20 feet away. For a 28 wide angle lens, that will be a tiny subject, and you probably just lose the whole essence of what you're trying to clip. So you got to go, you got to walk, you got to move, you got to get close, build that camaraderie, and you need to be good at social skills, to really go close and flick somebody you just absolutely don't know. And this excels at that. I mean, I don't even need to talk about the technicality. Extremely fast focus, great electronic viewfinder, fantastic lens. I mean, Leica is an expert at making 28 lenses. They have a 28 2.8, they have a 28 f2, they have a 28 1.4, which is the latest, and then they have the 28 1.7. Although they call it a Sumilux. The Sumilux is technically 1.4, but this, they call it the Sumilux. It's 1.7. But what a lens! I mean, it's just brilliant. The sensor is fantastic. So technicalities aside, what really connected me was the response. So when you're getting into a situation, and like Cartier-Bresson says, you want a decisive moment, right? You need a camera which is fast, and this is that. This is fast. You, without wasting any time, you just move your eye, I mean, you could click, fantastic. If you want to shoot, without getting it to your eye level, I got a bad throat. If you want to keep it, they call it shooting from the hip, right? So if you want to keep it down, you want to point it, to your subject and then click, you can do that. I've got some pictures doing that. So it allows you to be really discreet. It's not huge, it's not a big thing. It just hangs from your neck. You can carry this whole day. It's not going to give you a neck ache, backache or shoulder ache or whatever. And extremely, extremely responsive. So that's really, why I kind of started loving it. And of course, the quality of the files are just mind blowing. So one is, it's fast, it's discreet. Two, it's discreet. Three, it really forces you to move. It forces you to become part of the environment. Wide angle lenses, we always kind of think it's landscape, right? And anything 24 or below, or maybe 21 and below, it's typically landscape. So 21 to about 85 mm. This is the range where you do a lot of people photography. Now, the moment you go above 50, you go to 50 to 85. You are distant, you're away from the subject, you're not becoming part of the environment, you're kind of standing away and in fact in street photography it's almost considered voyeuristic to do street photography or reportage with like an 85 or 100 or a 200 mm, right? If you really are doing street photography, if you're really clicking people, you want to get close, you want to be part, you want a foreground, you want something in the foreground, you want background, you want the subject to kind of not really fill your frame, but at least be a prominent part of your frame. And for that, with a wide angle lens, believe it or not, a lot of reporters who use Leica have used 21 and 24 mm, to do that, to even get portraits, to get people. So the wide angle is a very essential element for reportage, for photojournalism, for kind of the kind of photography that the philosophy of photography that Leica was built on, and this really takes you back to the roots. And if you see, there are hardly any buttons on top. It's just the shutter dial, which also I keep it on auto, so I don't have to bother. So again, this also helps you not to really bother with the technicalities. I mean, if you have your aperture set, that's pretty much the only thing I bother about. I keep my ISO, it's a sunny day, I keep it at 100. If it's dark, I move it to 300, 400. If it's too dark, 800. Generally, I don't need anything beyond that. Otherwise, I can even leave it at auto, leave ISO at auto, and then flick. So basically, you're just worried about the shutter, the aperture. Control the aperture, forget the rest, the camera does the rest. Just concentrate on composition. Now, I'm not a very accomplished street photographer. I'm trying to understand the philosophy, go click a lot more. I've done a lot of weddings there. Whatever I've done in terms of capturing emotions, people, movement, and I intend to do that in the next wedding with this. But really, I mean, it really forces you to kind of do things which you've not done before. It forces you to get creative. It forces you to kind of use your mind, use your social skills, use your feet, go there, get there, become part of the moment, absorb the environment, and then make pictures. So from that perspective, this just with one shoot, and I'll share some pictures after this, it really has kind of given me a complete, you as a photographer, a lot of times you hit a wall and you don't know what next, and I think this really has given me an answer to that what next. So I'm going to discover this more, share more pictures, share more thoughts on this, but right now I can tell you I'm totally in love with Hemingway, and I'm not gay. By the way, they named Leica to Hemingway after Ernest Hemingway, who used a Leica for his photography. So that's where the name comes from. They have cameras. They've named it Henry. They've named it what's the other one? I'm forgetting. But they basically name it after people who the greats who used the cameras. So that's where the name comes from. But yeah, that was the my thoughts about the Q and why I love it. I'll talk more in the future. Thanks for watching. Bye.